The sun blazed mercilessly over the cotton fields as Elijah's hands moved rhythmically, picking cotton until his fingers bled. He was only 13, but his body bore the scars of years of toil. His dreams of freedom were often interrupted by the harsh realities of whips and overseers, but the stories he'd overheard gave him hope, stories of a secret network, a path to freedom, whispered among the enslaved during stolen moments in the dead of night. Little did Elijah know, his journey toward that path would begin sooner than he ever imagined. The Underground Railroad wasn't a railroad, nor was it underground. It was a network of people, routes, and safe houses that stretched across the United States. Run by courageous men and women, both black and white, it gave enslaved individuals a chance at freedom. Elijah first learned about it from Aunt Clara, an elderly woman on the plantation known for her wisdom. She'd speak in riddles, weaving tales of conductors and stations that seemed like fairy tales to the young boy. But when Clara's niece vanished one night, leaving nothing but a whispered, "I'll meet you in the North Star's shadow," Elijah realized the stories were real. When Elijah finally made the decision to escape, it was Harriet, a former enslaved woman turned conductor, who guided him. Harriet Tubman was a legend. Her soft voice carried authority, and her eyes shone with determination. "We'll move at night," she told Elijah and the others in the group. "The stars will guide us, and the Lord will keep us." She carried a pistol, not just for protection, but as a reminder to those who might falter, freedom or death. As they walked through treacherous swamps and dense forests, Harriet's courage was their beacon, her whispered prayers their comfort. The journey was grueling. Elijah's feet were blistered and raw, his stomach empty. The nights were cold, and the days were spent hidden in cramped spaces. Once, while hiding in a barn, they heard the baying of dogs and the angry shouts of slave catchers nearby. Elijah held his breath, clutching a bundle of rags that barely muffled his fear. When the danger passed, Harriet placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "Freedom's worth every step, child," she whispered. As they traveled, Elijah learned to recognize the signals that marked safe houses. A lantern hung on a post, a quilt draped over a fence with patterns that told stories of safety and direction. One night, they arrived at a farm where the owner, a Quaker named Thomas, greeted them with a soft smile. "The sparrow flies north," he said, the coded phrase signaling that they were welcome. Elijah marveled at the ingenuity of the network, where even a simple melody like "Swing Low, Sweet Chariot" carried messages of escape. Thomas's farmhouse was one of many stations along the route. The walls of the hidden cellar were lined with shelves that concealed a trap door. Elijah's group huddled there for 2 nights, sharing stories in hushed tones. An older man named Samuel recounted how he'd been separated from his family, but found hope in the kindness of strangers. "People like Thomas risk everything for us," Samuel said. "Their courage keeps the railroad moving. Not everyone along the journey was an ally." One night, while crossing a bridge, they encountered a group of bounty hunters. Harriet led them into the woods, her pistol drawn, her voice steady. "Stay close," she commanded. Elijah's heart pounded as they hid in silence, the hunters' torches flickering ominously in the distance. Moments like these reminded him of the thin line between freedom and capture. For every success, there were sacrifices. Elijah learned of Henry Box Brown, who mailed himself to freedom in a wooden crate, and others who never made it past the first station. In one heartbreaking moment, a woman in their group decided to return, fearing for her child left behind. Harriet's face was heavy with sorrow, but she respected the woman's choice. "We all make our own journey," she said softly. When Elijah finally crossed into Canada, the air felt different, lighter. Tears streamed down his face as he realized he was free. The journey had been perilous, but the Underground Railroad had delivered him to freedom. Years later, Elijah would join the abolitionist movement, sharing his story to inspire others. The railroad's legacy lived on, not just in history books, but in the lives of those it saved. Today, the stories of the Underground Railroad are preserved in museums and historical sites. Elijah's great-grandchildren visit these places, learning about the courage of Harriet Tubman, Thomas the Quaker, and countless others who defied injustice. The legacy of the railroad is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a reminder that even in the darkest times there is light.